What's good? How is y'all doing? Today we finna be reacting to Tokyo Ghoul AOGIRI explain physiology, society, CCG warfare type shit. You know what I mean? I did a couple videos, I think, you know what I'm saying, reacting to, and like they was talking about AOGIRI and shit. And like two other, you know what I'm saying, Tokyo Ghoul videos I made and shit, but I don't know. But without further ado, we finna up to the video, y'all. Appreciate y'all for watching. Make sure y'all leave a like, comment, subscribe, and let's hop right into this bit.
In Tokyo Ghoul, there is one group that you can easily identify as the villains, and that would just so happen to be AOGIRI Tree. However, when it comes to AOGIRI being villains or not, it would really just depend on your position and perspective in the current society. On one hand, AOGIRI is looked at as a terrorist group that is really just trying to preserve and destroy society and flip it over in order to create a world where regular human beings would otherwise be getting the short end of the stick, and this would simply be because ghouls would just devour every single human that they would come across. With that being said, it wouldn't be too crazy to think of turning every single human into a ghoul, and that way there wouldn't even be a single opportunity to discriminate anyone in this new form of society. If every single person is a ghoul, then that gives the CCG no reason to hunt down ghouls and kill them, because at that point they would simply just be exterminating the only sense of life on Earth. However, the idea of a world that only ghouls can truly live in is a dangerous one, because at that point, only the strongest ghouls would be able to actually survive. With a world of only ghouls, this would really only support Yamori's ideology of the strong being able to do whatever they want simply because they're strong.
But that would mean,
if we have a ghoul,
that would mean these motherfuckers, what the fuck would they eat, bruh? On some steady, motherfucker, it's still gonna be the same thing, just y'all gonna be ghouls. Like, that shit would be just weird.
Like Yoshimura walking around, he would inevitably devour and kill everyone that he saw. And the main problem with this is the very fact that there would be more people like Yoshimura killing others just so that they could simply survive. And what makes this all so important is because it lets you look at AOGIRI through a completely different lens. AOGIRI wants a world where ghouls can live peacefully so that they could prevent ghouls from dying on a day-to-day basis. But the cruel reality of it all will simply just create a world where people will be hurt and taken advantage of, just like Kaneki. This would essentially create a world that Jason would envision, which would also explain why he would be a member of AOGIRI in the first place, because they would coincide with his own personal beliefs. Even so, AOGIRI trying to usher in an era of peace in order to prevent ghoul lives from being killed so haphazardly would only open Pandora's box and create a world where ghouls would only kill other ghouls. To be blunt, carnage and bloodshed would consume the entire world as a whole. And AOGIRI, rather than getting the peaceful world that they've been fighting for the entire time, they would get the exact opposite. By getting rid of the CCG, AOGIRI Tree and the rest of the ghouls would only have each other to devour and kill. After hearing this, you could easily say that the world would be worse off if ghouls had a majority of the influence in Tokyo Ghoul's current society.
Yeah,
a world where ghouls would rule would simply be no different than hell itself, and it makes you bring to question whether or not the ghouls themselves actually realize this, and it makes you understand why exactly the CCG are fighting AOGIRI. If AOGIRI win, they're gonna simply turn the world into a ginormous bloodbath where they're constantly forced to kill their own kind. Case in point being,
exactly what I said,
the worst scenario for AOGIRI to run into, because they would be going against all of their wishes and everything that they stood for as an organization. Because they themselves would not only be causing ghouls to die, not just for their cause, but in the near future, because they would be the leading reason as to why ghouls would be dying at all. AOGIRI would be just like the CCG in two different senses. Not only are they the other side that they're going against in the warfare between society, and by sacrificing the lives of many ghouls for their cause, in that sense, they would be just like their enemies. Even so, the plot thickens, because what AOGIRI doesn't realize is that once they defeat their enemies, they will be just like their enemies, because they will create a world where ghouls are otherwise killing each other. That is the truth behind an all-ghoul world. While on the topic of the truth, now's as good a time as any to mention how AOGIRI itself is built upon lies. Even the entire massive following that AOGIRI itself has garnered throughout the years, while they even forced other ghouls to join their ranks whether they wanted to or not, AOGIRI does not follow their sole belief like everyone else initially thought. As a member or a follower of AOGIRI tree, you would begin to think that AOGIRI values the lives of ghouls more than the lives of every other beings on Earth. But little does anyone know that AOGIRI itself values the lives of ghouls and humans alike, leading the organization to be built upon a whole fabrication, an entire lie, in order to bring together the most misunderstood race of people on Earth.
This nigga Kaneki was hungry as hell, bro, drooling and shit. Nigga want to eat. I ain't even finna say that shit, bro.
Both good
Nigga was
and
trying to
bad,
eat.
and this was the case because the CCG already governed and controlled a majority of society itself. And so ghouls would obtain any form of support that they could have against this world dominating power. And to make matters worse, it doesn't help that both the CCG and AOGIRI equally hate each other, because everyone enrolled in both organizations has a grudge against the other side, and so they would choose a side and take out any animosity or spite against humans or ghouls by joining these organizations, just to kill a ghoul or a human in order to deal with what someone feels on the inside, which stresses the primary reason as to why AOGIRI exists. It exists so that the CCG can no longer cause ghouls to experience any more pain. Yet, with an organization like AOGIRI, they end up causing even more pain, not only for the CCG, but for ghouls as well. The main purpose of AOGIRI in the grand scheme of it all is to truly bring awareness to the suffering of ghouls that our current society has caused. Within the everyday society of Tokyo Ghoul, most human beings automatically view ghouls as if they're evil. And so AOGIRI has to use other means of communication in order to let people know what ghouls are going through. And this would be done through literature so that people who are not ghouls can empathize with what's happening to ghouls on a day-to-day basis, but this would be done in a subliminal fashion so that the world would not take away the books informing people about ghouls suffering on a day-to-day basis, with these same books being written by the founder of AOGIRI. If anyone were to judge these books by their covers, they would easily be written off as a random piece of fiction. This is what makes the founder of AOGIRI writing these books so important, because they are written
set my
in
nigga
a
up,
way
bro.
so that
Some real
anyone can
shit.
sympathize
I think.
with the feelings
Am I right?
of
I forgot.
ghouls.
It's been
The
so
world
long.
would tell everyone that ghouls are bad, and unknowingly they would also feel an emotional attachment or concern towards what was being written, and soon these same readers that were regular human beings would understand that what they were reading was
Nigga
a
got
story
Ghoul
about
right,
a
goddamn
ghoul.
headband
And
on
this
his
would
shit.
help change their viewpoints and perspectives on ghouls as a whole, with regular human beings going as far as to support the rights of the monsters that used to be eating their neighbors and keeping them in their own homes at night, which just goes to show how strong the beliefs of AOGIRI really are, because it would inspire even those who are supposed to be going directly against them, only to have them sympathize and understand their cause. All in all, society itself was a lie, which is no different than AOGIRI. And these lies that were fed to the people and ghouls were the only things that were able to actually cause the world to take such a shape, with that shape being that of a bird cage. And AOGIRI aims to take out this cage. And this ideology and belief would be developed from Dr. Kano, which AOGIRI would work with on the sides in order to create ghouls that would inevitably help turn the tides in battle between AOGIRI and the CCG. The sole thing AOGIRI is searching for is freedom from the warped bird cage known as society. As mentioned before, they will do this by any means necessary. The CCG, which was founded more than 100 years ago, would force humans to fight a powerful one-eyed ghoul, and in this sense, AOGIRI, which would also recruit ghouls and force them to fight for their cause, would reflect that of the CCG, their enemies. So all in all, would it be for the best if AOGIRI just didn't exist at all? Crazily enough, no matter what they do, whether it be allowing society to throw away ghoul lives by letting the CCG execute innocent ghouls every single day, or by forcing ghouls to fight for a common ground and their place in the world, it seems that no matter what AOGIRI does, they will have blood on their hands. Now, is that the result of society, or is that the result of its people? That's something I will ultimately
I feel like
just
it's
let
both.
you decide. Is destroying the birdcage really worth it all in the end? Especially when it comes at such a steep price.
Nah, though. Y'all let me know what y'all feel. I feel like it's both, though, what he said. You know what I'm saying? It's a result of both sides. You know what I'm saying? But, yeah. Appreciate y'all for watching, though. Make sure y'all leave a like, comment, subscribe. Y'all let me know any other videos y'all like to see me do next. Tokyo Ghoul. It'll not matter. And I will see y'all in the next video.